Yes, people, how are we doing? We're coming to you live on my channel and that as well, right here. Have a bit of discussion. It's a fan calling show, and yeah, this is mainly just discussing about what's going on at Palace. There's a lot of questions that is being asked currently regarding Roy's future as manager, regarding the players, regarding the injury crisis. I wouldn't say injury crisis, but the injuries we got to crucial players. Regarding what's going on off the pitch at Palace, and oh boy, it's not looking good. It's been a really depressing few weeks. We thought we'd go to Luton and get something and win, and I was really confident. I backed the team and that, and they let me down. They let all of us down, as a matter of fact. Absolutely humiliating, and we were an absolute joke, in my opinion. I'm joined by Mr. Mad Mason, and that makes sure to go and check out his channel and that as well. Go and subscribe. Also, go and subscribe to my channel. Obviously, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss an upload. Socials will be in the link in the description down below, and that as well. Make sure to like and comment. Got the live chat as well for you lot to ask any questions and voice your opinions. But you could also click the link in the live chat. It's highlighted pretty well in that. There's a link for you to join to voice your opinion, as this is a fan calling show and that as well. So make sure to go and click that link, and yeah, we'll definitely be asking a lot of questions. But Mason, first and foremost, hope you're doing well. How you been, man? You good?
Yeah, as good as I can be. Thing is, like, doing these sort of shows, that's when you know that your club's in sort of trouble. And you know what, right? Normally by the Wednesday after a game that's happened on the Saturday, if we lose, I've calmed down and I've moved on to looking at the next game. I've still not got over it. I'm still absolutely gobsmacked. You know what I mean? Like, the levels we've gone down. Before we even played Burnley, I think it was after we lost to Tottenham, I said that out of Burnley, Everton, Luton, West Ham and Bournemouth, I said with the tough run of games in December, I want 11 points out of 15. We're not going to achieve that, even if we do beat West Ham and Bournemouth. So, I mean, what we're looking at now is it's going to be another steady season, unless in December something mad was to happen. And Roy's done it before. He has pulled out some shock results against your Liverpools, your Man Cities, your Chelseas, but it comes very few and far between. And what we said at the start of the season, I remember you saying it, and I remember myself saying it as well, is that with Roy coming in, I don't mind it. I'm not a massive fan of it, but for us to progress, we need to get points out of the teams that we should be beating. The last two games are a pure example of where we failed. The last two games. And then you look at the capitulation against Newcastle, how we just fell flat against Spurs, didn't show much energy at all. The goalless draws against Fulham and Forest. Well, the Forest one, you can argue we had a lot of injuries, but one against Fulham. So many mistakes in this season, and it comes from everywhere you look. The manager we've hired, again, the board, the signings, the lack of usage of these signings.
Who aren't featuring regularly, like Chris Richards, for example. Frank, he splashed 25 mil out on. You know what I mean? He's our third most expensive signing, I believe. And he's only ever made 2 appearances. He hasn't even started a game yet.
Yeah, it's an absolute joke now to hear that we put a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract.
Yeah.
We put a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract. He's sitting on the bench. I think the only appearance, he's played collectively about half an hour of Premier League football since he signed for us. And I know that he had a bit of trouble time with injuries, but he come back in mid-October. We're now in late November. And we've only seen him for about half an hour on a Premier League pitch against the likes of Everton, Luton. Even, I know Burnley, we got the win. But even against Burnley, we didn't play all that well.
We were rubbish. We only had 2 attempts against Burnley and scored them both. And that's all we did in the game.
It's just that Burnley having a rotten time at home. But
they're awful.
Like,
we had 6 games. We've only got one. We've only got like 1 win at home all season.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? It's just our luck that West Ham are starting to go up on the. I think they started the season really well. Then you had a bit of a rough patch when the Europa League was very constant. Then they had a bit of a break from it, and now in the Premier League, their form's gone up a little bit. Just our luck we've got them next. Then you look at Bournemouth. Their last 2 games against Newcastle, Sheffield United, they scored 5 goals and kept. Well, did they win 4-0 at Sheffield United? Was it 3-0?
Which team?
Bournemouth. Was it
Bournemouth.
3-0?
3-1. 3-1. Sorry, it was 3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Right. So they've
on Saturday.
They've scored 5, conceded 1. They're not going to be. Everyone's looking at that Bournemouth game and going, "Yeah, we've got Bournemouth. We'll be fine in that one."
They're hitting good form. They're hitting some good form.
It doesn't. I'm not being funny. If we're losing to Luton, and I saw comments on your video, and I've seen comments on my video saying that I'm disrespecting Luton. I'm just saying it as a fact. Luton are effectively a championship side that have come up. And you look at their starting 11, the only players that I could really name properly, I'd say 3 or 4 actually, because of Townsend. Townsend, Barkley, Morris, and Lockyer. The rest of them
as well. Don't forget Lokonga, he plays for them.
Oh, Lokonga, but I don't think he even come on.
If he even came on, I can't remember.
I don't think he even came on. So out of the starting 11, 4 of them, right? Yeah. So they were the number 1 candidates to go down. So if we can lose to Luton, we can definitely lose to Bournemouth.
We can lose to anyone in this league.
We can lose to anyone.
What's going to happen? The fact we lost to Luton, I mean, I've just got no confidence or faith in this team anymore, really. I'm not going to go into a match saying, yeah, definitely we're going to win that, because against the likes of Everton and Luton and Burnley, I was like, these are guaranteed games that I'm confident 100% that we're going to win, and we've lost 2 of them, and in them 2 defeats as well to Everton and Luton, we were behind 5 times, and we got ourselves back into the game, and we still lost against Everton. We still lost against Luton. We're not learning from our mistakes, and it's frustrating, man. I'm telling you.
Against Everton, if you watch my vlog a little bit closer, against Everton, when Edouard equalised, I barely celebrated. I celebrated when it was given because the VAR call took long for them to make the decision, so it's a bit of a relief.
Ridiculous.
But when the ball actually hit the back of the net, I went, right, push on. I went, now push on and get the winner, and then we just keep giving the ball to him. I said before Gay scored, this is how we lose games in the last minute. We keep just kicking the ball at them and just hoping to defend for our lives. It doesn't work all the time.
I know.
And then that's why we lost that game. And then you look at the Luton game. I thought the Elise goal was absolute. And the thing is, the way that Palace had the nerve. The way Palace had the nerve before full time, and when it was 2-1, I checked the time post and that. When it was when Luton went 2-1 up, the Palace account had the nerve to go on about, we've scored 600 goals.
Yeah, that's a bit.
While we're losing to Luton.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit ridiculous, to be honest. A bit pathetic that. It's a bit stupid.
Anyway,
stupid that.
The thing is, right, you look at the comments on the Palace Instagram, 80% of them are negative. No one likes this. No one likes this style of Palace right now.
Yeah.
Not like for the last few years.
Mason, I'll ask you this: do we even have a style of play? Do we even have an identity in our play right now?
No,
honestly, because I can't see it right now. We've lost it.
The thing is, right, it doesn't help when your manager comes out with mad stuff. In terms of youngsters against, I don't care if he apologised. It took ages for him to apologise. It took him 5 days, 4 days for him to apologise for what he said about the young players. But what does he do out of pity? Puts them on the bench anyway. Nothing changes. So in my opinion, he didn't say it. He didn't make a mistake. He made it, but to save his skin, he went, I'm sorry. But his thoughts are still there. Hence why Frank is on the bench. Hence why is Raksaki injured?
I think he's still injured, but he's on his way back.
He's on his way back. Okay. But Raksaki, when he was fit, barely got a look in.
Yeah, exactly.
You look at the players we've signed. I know what's his name? Henderson's injured, but
he's out for another month or so.
Chris Richards isn't being given the chance.
Yeah, what have these players got to do to get in the team, man? Raksaki, Richards, Franco, all them are matter. He's got favouritism with players like Slipper Ward who aren't good enough. Mateta as well.
Stat,
you know what I mean? It makes no sense to me one bit.
While I was watching the Luton game, I laughed at this stat. It was I think it was when we was 1-0 down. This was just before, obviously, the between the 2 goals was very close. But I heard this one thing. There's only been one Premier League team where a substitute has not scored. Us.
Jesus Christ.
That shows
that's poor.
That the bench barely get a look in. Mateta comes on in the last 20 minutes. All the fans goes, there's no striker better than Jean-Philippe Mateta.
But there is a striker better than
The
Mateta.
pattern's the same.
His name's
The
Austin
pattern is the
Edouard,
same.
unfortunately.
20 minutes,
You know what I mean?
Mateta comes on.
Oh god.
Then Ahamada comes on in the last 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
barely even realise he's on the pitch.
He didn't do anything. He wasn't on it, to be fair.
What
He's lost a
gets
bit of
me,
confidence
right?
that, you know what I mean?
What gets
Not
me?
gonna lie.
If Ahamada, I get the fact that we spent money on Ahamada as well. £10 million we spent on him,
Yeah.
right? So what I don't get is, why is Ahamada how bad is Franca in training that Ahamada is in front of him as an Eze replacement? I swear to God, if I see Ahamada in that starting 11 against West Ham on Sunday, I'm going to lose my rag.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm going to be so... And I'll see Franca on the bench again. And then he might get an appearance. Let's be honest, right? The only appearances he's made...
Yeah, go on.
He got brought on at 4-0 down against Newcastle. What do you expect him to do? He got brought on with 10 minutes to go against Tottenham. Granted, we did get a goal back in that time. But Roy still brought him on when the game was 2-0 and we weren't pressing. It was just out of a good moment from Jordan Ayew. I think Jordan Ayew is another talking point because how Jeffrey Schlupp starts ahead of him.
To be fair though, going back to the Luton game in some regards, I was watching it, but I was there. I saw the whole thing go down, and that, you know what I mean. A lot of Palace fans couldn't go to it. I'll be honest, I thought Schlupp played all right. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch. He was pressing, he was dribbling, he was running through players, and that he was trying at least. But it's Luton Town, for God's sake. If that was against West Ham or big team, he would be useless. But Luton Town,
I get what you mean.
He put in a shift, but he's not been good enough overall this season.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But Schlupp is well, I guess you can put all of our players in this bracket. Very inconsistent. Yeah. Just like everything.
Very on and off.
Hence why
very
we're
hot
here.
and cold.
Hence why we're doing this right now. The one word to describe us is 2 words: unstable and inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's why we're here.
Exactly.
I mean, we started the season.
Right.
I thought we was all right. Got the 1-0 win at Sheffield United. Did what we had to do there. Unlucky against Arsenal, I think. You know, we got the point at Brentford's ground, and I thought, you know what, that's all right. Okay, beat Wolves, and I thought, okay, we're all right now. And then
plus Plymouth in the cup as well.
Plymouth in the cup, okay. And then I forgot about that. Really,
that's a positive.
Yeah, and then then you can argue the VAR absolutely robbed us against Aston Villa, and then there's unlucky there, and then and then the problem started when we drew at home to Fulham. When we drew at home to Fulham. Fulham were the dominant team. Fulham should have come away with 3 points. After the game, Roy Hodgson goes, I wasn't given enough players to compete in the likes of the Carabao Cup and in the Premier League going forward. Yeah. And then
he wasn't sort of wrong, though. He wasn't sort of wrong because Parish didn't push out for a winger or a striker, players like that.
No, I'm not saying he's wrong.
I know, but it's like, I mean, like, that's down to Parish that we didn't have enough players, going forward, especially, and we had a load of injuries. You know what I mean? So I kind of get where Roy's coming from in some way.
Yeah.
That's down to the board. But
and I believe in that game, Eze went off injured, and what do you call it? Edouard went off injured. He was out for about 2 weeks. We had to rely on Mateta up front.
They had injuries during them periods.
He was like, I had no options and all that. And that sort of rang alarm bells. But at least we got a point out of that game. Then we go to the Carabao Cup against United. We were absolutely useless. But the only thing I've got with the Carabao Cup is that we don't ever do well in it.
We never have,
we never have done well in it. So that's what I was thinking. Well, you know what? It was a bad performance, but if we can go and win in the league, it'll be okay. And then we won in the league. And I was like, you know what? Okay, brilliant. Push on against Forest. We get a bucket load of injuries. And, well, there was a lot of injuries. So even with major signings, we still would have had massive gaps in that team. But it would have helped.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm just gonna go through a few comments. I think someone's waiting. Oh, it's Jordan. I'm gonna bring him on in a sec. I'm just gonna go for a few comments quickly in that as well. What's it? So Mark Brighton, Operation Landscapes, terrible. Terrible spent from the board. I think he means terrible spending from the board.
Is the reason.
It's the reason. Yeah, definitely. That's 1 point. 100%. I mean, our squad depth is so thin on ice right now, and that as well.
Not being funny, Tristan. I think I was on a live with you this time last year, and we were saying the same thing.
Exactly the same thing. Nothing ever changes,
Um,
does it, at Palace? Same thing, season in, season out. Honestly, another question. What comment saying? Where is France? Is he even any good? Well,
the
he's
only
got the
starting
ability,
11
but
for
he's not been given the
Palace,
chances.
the only starting 11 for Palace I've seen him in was in our defeat to Stevenage in the EFL Trophy. That is literally the only starting 11 I've seen him be in.
Yeah, it's not on, is it?
You know, I know we lost.
Exactly.
I think the final score was like 5-2 to Stevenage or something, but we was already out of the competition anyway. And I think he got subbed off early, and that's not even Roy managing that squad.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you know, how bad? How bad must he be? Everyone's saying he's. They put a bloody Ballon d'Or in the bloody contract. He can't be that bad.
The thing is, he's not getting a run of games, Franca. That's my main issue. He's not getting a run of games. And sorry, Joe, by the way, I just was fortunate to get one in the ballot, in it, I suppose, for the Luton ticket. But he's not that bad. He just needs to run of games and a bit of a consistent run within the first team, starting like back-to-back games now. Honestly, let's get Jordan actually. Jordan, how are you, man? You good?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah. I'm assuming, did you go to Luton at all away on
Mate,
Saturday?
we were already planning to go, but tickets, because of the amount of loyalty points, they did say
Right. Yeah,
fans
yeah,
with 8,000, it's so hard to get tickets. But at least I got West
yeah,
Ham on Sunday, so that's
yeah.
good. But I
But
tell
we're
you
all
what,
there.
Yeah. We're all going to be I know a lot of people going to that. That's a full sellout and that as well. Want to get your thoughts on our situation at Palace, Jordan, man. What do you make of it? Talk to me, man. Like, what's
oh
the whole
mate, I
Roy
tell you
situation?
what,
Are you Roy in, Roy out?
it's like
Honestly,
I don't know. It's like losing to a Park team. You know, I call Luton Town Lloyd Park FC.
Oh my god.
that's a first. Oh my god, Jordan.
It's true.
He's
It's
too
like
funny, isn't he?
I got mentioned that by a
Yeah.
Chelsea fan today. Oh, he said, "Oh, you lost to Luton Town." He said, "Oh, they're Lloyd Park FC." He said, "Oh, Palace are this and that." And I thought, but saying that they lost to Newcastle, that was worse.
Nah, it was the scoreline, to be fair. Well, the Newcastle
So
were
you
good,
can't
but
compare our
yeah,
2-1 defeat to their 4-1.
Yeah, we lost 4-0 to them, but they didn't lose against Luton, did they?
True. Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
True.
we did.
true.
We've done
That's a good
double
point.
whammy.
That's a good point. But yeah, Jordan, I mean, what's the next level for us? What direction are we going in? Is there even a direction? What's the ambition? What do you make of it all, man? Is it, do you think they'll sack Roy? Honestly,
I think Christmas coming to now, it's time to worry. Personally,
yeah,
I'm not a Roy out at the moment, but if this carries on the way we're going, then
yeah.
unfortunately, Sellers Park as a stadium, it's going to go toxic within the fan
No, it
base.
it could do. It's been like that before. I've seen it
And
happen numerous times.
it's like going to a family member's wedding, but you don't like that certain person.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Like
I get you.
it's hard. It's hard. Like, you know
Oh
what I
god.
mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
Like it's
Mm.
horrible. Like, I love my club to bits, and you know what? I will go week in, week out. I try to go to every away game, but obviously I can't. But
Yeah, that's good.
it's
That's good.
so
Yeah.
hard, and
No, it is.
I really hope the board can actually get their backsides up and really start putting some money into the club. And I tell you what, bruv, I would have started the women's team on Saturday against Luton, let alone the bloody men's team.
Yeah, with the way we but with the result and the way everything turned out, I get what you mean on that note. I mean, it just wasn't good enough, I mean, like I said, I went there, it's just like I thought we played well. We had the better chances, and to some extent, we were the better team, but it just
We
wasn't.
played well first half. I'll give credit that,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
expected it first half. Luton, we
yeah,
had more
definitely.
possession.
Yeah.
Obviously, I thought Schlupp played well. Like, don't criticise Schlupp every time, because he proves us wrong now and again. But but look at the upcoming games. We've got West Ham this Sunday. We got Bournemouth at home. We got Man City. We got Liverpool,
Yeah.
and
Chelsea,
then we've got
Brighton,
Chelsea coming
Brentford,
up.
Arsenal in January.
I tell you
Yeah,
what, I would
trouble.
love to see us. I would love to see us beat Bournemouth at home, but can't see it.
It wouldn't surprise me if we lost that game. The way they are right now, they've got 3 wins in their last 4.
It would not surprise me
Yeah.
if if what's his name, son, goes and scores for them.
But do you know what I mean? Right. Put it this way, right?
Patrick Kluivert's son.
Put it this way, right?
Yeah.
So, say if we did, worst case scenario, lose all of these games in December, and then we find ourselves possibly in the bottom three.
Potentially,
It would be really funny to then see the board spend, because then all of us will be sitting there like,
good point.
well, why didn't you do this in the summer?
Exactly. Why do you do it in January
Why didn't you do it
last
earlier?
summer? Yeah.
Like,
I know it's ridiculous. It's like, come on, like
Shows a bit of inconsistency within the board.
And they're talking about taking us to the next level. Are they having a laugh?
Mate,
games
the next
at
level,
Rotherham next season,
mate.
where we're going.
Yeah,
mate,
exactly. The next level potentially, if we go another 3 months or so without a win, which has happened once this year already, we could potentially
we might
be in
be
the bottom
going
three in the
to
championship. I'm not gonna lie.
to those locked down the den, mate. If we're not careful.
Oh God,
they could be going up, and we could be going down. That's no. Actually, realistically, right? What?
No,
realistically,
no.
They're not coming up. They ain't coming up. They ain't coming up in 10 years. They ain't coming up in 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
I hope not.
Well,
anyway,
I suppose that's what Palace fans were saying about Brighton back in 2013, and 4 years later they came up.
Oh, mate, don't get me started on Brighton. Jesus.
Let's not talk about Brighton. Let's not talk about Brighton until we play them, because that's going to be an interesting one at the end of next month. Trust me, that's going to be interesting.
It could either be that game could go two ways. We could be in for a Christmas night of horror, or we could be in for a Christmas night of surprise.
It's like 3 days before Christmas, isn't it? Oh God.
Oh God, do you know what?
Like
I would love a Christmas present, but I want Palace to give that to me.
Yeah.
If Roy Hodgson dressed up as Santa, then we'll be all right.
Just gonna hold it there for a quick second. Just got a few comments here in that as well. Apparently, it's 3-3 between Galatasaray and Man United. Maybe Wilf did score. Apparently, it is Man United bottling a 2-goal lead. Big L for Man United.
Go on, Galatasaray.
I bet you he did score, Zara. I bet you he did. Last time I checked, they were like 2-1 down. S33K1 says here regarding Palace and that, even if they spent money on players, Roy still won't use them. Well, look at the likes of Franca, Holding, like Richards, players like that. He's got a grudge on them, clearly, for God's sake. And he's playing like flipping Ward. He's about 100 years old at right back. And Jeffrey Schlupp, who it blows too much hot and cold, or he's been crap this season.
Ain't that guy due to testimonials to Joe Ward?
Probably going to retire at the end of this season.
Thing is, right, Joe Ward, right? This just sums it up. I knew before the game, seeing Ogbene against Ward, I thought only one winner, because that Ogbene is probably Luton's best player. He's so quick, right? They actually had to double team him. Ward was that bad, they had to put Elise on defending. When I saw Elise having to double team up with Joel Ward to defend against him, I'm surprised Elise even scored.
Yeah.
Because I thought he's not going to get that far up the pitch.
Yeah.
Joe Ward got absolutely skinned.
Yeah, that's why they then put Ogbene on the other side against Mitchell, and Palace thought, oh, Mitchell will do all right. And then Mitchell just lets him whip the crossing, and then you know what happens after that. Anderson and Johnson have an absolute nightmare.
if we had a younger right back, like a younger, more ambitious right back is a bit quicker, I reckon we wouldn't concede half the goals we've done, because most of the goals are coming down our right hand side. Because I think our fullbacks, Ward's been useless, Mitchell's been poor this season. We need some new fullbacks clearly. And there's a comment here from Dan Meaton. I think I said his name right. My apologies if I didn't. The problem is Roy doesn't care about the youngsters, and it's really obvious. He acts like he does, but he doesn't. It's obvious
because he's too old school. He's too old school, Tristan.
Definitely,
he's too old
100%.
school. That's the problem.
I know. He did it in England when he was at the England job, but he's done it before.
He's too old school, and I'm sick and tired of us getting old school managers. I really am, and I'm saying this now. Get a younger manager, and I'm going to call this out right now. This might surprise you. Get Johnny Jackson in from Wimbledon.
Johnny Jackson?
Maybe too, mate.
I know, but I wouldn't.
I disagree on that.
As a very outside shot, mate. And I'm not being funny. I think if Palace were to get him in, then everyone would be saying, "Oh, this is next level, a next Wimbledon manager." I don't think it'd work. I don't.
Jordan, I kind of he's a young manager and he's ambitious, but he's nowhere near. The fact he's managing a League Two side says it all. If he was in the Championship, then maybe. Although you get a Championship.
Oh no, of course, I know. It's just an idea that I thought. Obviously, it's just not that. It's just that I thought it'd be a nice idea because I thought obviously it's a potential because obviously it's a potential one to look out for. But if not, then go for Gary O'Neill from Wolves. But I doubt he'll leave Wolves.
We're apparently
That is
interested
not
in
leaving
Steve
balls.
Cooper,
No, I don't think he is.
but Jordan,
Speaking of that, who would you?
Jordan,
Yeah.
don't you remember the backlash that Palace got when we first appointed Vieira? Everyone was going, "Oh, we're going down, we're going down." Can you imagine what would happen?
He was our fourth choice,
you're
weren't he? I
talking
swear,
True, yeah,
I swear
true,
he was
yeah.
our fourth choice as Palace manager at that time, Vieira.
He was our
because we were
fourth
trying to go
choice.
for
We appointed him
Nunes to
during the
Lampard.
Euros.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, during the Euros, that was it
My
in
question,
2020. Yeah.
My question is, who would you, if we do sack Roy, if things get really bad against West Ham and we lose to Bournemouth at home 3 days later, I could see him getting sacked. Who would you appoint potentially? Who would you realistically appoint?
I
He's got
would go
Premiership
for
experience and he's
Cooper.
proven.
I would either go for Cooper or I would look into getting. Is Nuno Espirito Santos without a job?
I think he's in Saudi, isn't he?
He's in Saudi.
No,
I
he's
think
been
he's in
sacked.
Saudi. Has he been
No,
sacked?
he's been sacked. He was sacked. Yeah.
Oh, he's got experience. He's proven, I suppose. That's a shout. If he is,
And
sacked.
he was in the running.
To be Palace
before we got
manager,
Vieira.
but apparently he was. I think he was having an interview with Parish, but then apparently Parish and Dougie Freeman were arguing. Apparently, because it was basically arguments between Parish. But hold on, who's? It's not Dougie Freeman's choice. It's Parish's choice. You can't choose who's going to be the manager of the club. It's down to Parish. It's not down to Freeman.
Jordan.
Right, here we go.
I've got to hold you there. I've got a debatable comment. Mason, you can read this out if you want. Go on, man. Go on.
This is a comment that I get nearly every day. Crystal Palace fans are ungrateful. Put some trust in Roy Hodgson. He is the best man for the job. Mate, honestly,
not anymore. Unfortunately, I hate to be. I'm just being honest.
I'm not right. Just to put a bit of a timeline on this sort of thing, right? So you're telling me, right? I'd probably say that.
Oh no, of course I respect Roy 100%, but obviously the job he's doing at the moment, it's. Oh well,
yeah. The thing is, right? Palace fans wanted progression. I'd say post 2018, when we attempted progression in 2017, didn't work, and then Hodgson come in saved the day. Since then, we've wanted it. So wanted progression. 5 years it's been now, nearly 6, and so. If you're telling, I don't even know if this Czech guy supports Palace, but if your team, if you wanted progression and you it's constant failings, 10 windows in 5 years with barely anything. I think the only window where I think it's been acceptable was when we first got in Vieira and we spent about 65 million in one window. I thought that was a brilliant window, and I still give the board credit for it, because without that window, we wouldn't have the players that we've got in today. But the problem is that constant failures, it's just we see the same patterns every year.
We got 4 defeats out of 5, mate.
It's just the same patterns every year. And I just don't know. The thing is, if you make the same mistake more than once, don't expect different results. So exactly. I don't know what the sense was. I remember the video that I made when Roy Hodgson was brought back in this season. I was like, okay, I can see why the board have done it, but I know it's not going to work.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, go on him.
I said, right, in 10 games that he got at the end of last season, he played one big side, right? Now we've got a run of 3 big sides in 1 month. We're automatically crapping ourselves right now because of the crap form we've had against Everton, Luton, even Burnley when we got the win. I'd say you could probably throw that in there because performance-wise wasn't great. The way we folded against Tottenham, the Newcastle one, I could go on and on. You look back at previous seasons and it's not worked. We're not ungrateful. If it was 2018, say if we go back to 2018 under Roy, and we start, I think we started that season poorly, didn't we? I think we lost against Southampton, we lost against Bournemouth. I think we lost against Swansea had gone down already. I think we lost against another smaller team. I think we lost to Watford as well. If I was back then saying, "Oh, we've not progressed," I would probably be being a bit over the top. But the fact we're now 5 years ahead of that, and we're still no further forward.
Yeah, massively.
I think we've got a right to be a little bit annoyed, mate.
Well, it's been going on for 10 years, in my opinion. And hear me out. Jordan, wait. In my opinion, what I'll just say this, hold on. In my opinion, it's been 10 years of failure because we haven't progressed. We've had one season where we've gotten top 10, and that was in the 14-15 season because a lot of teams surrounding us were completely and utterly useless in that. I think we managed to get 48 points that year. The FA Cup final, we bottled it. The semi-final against Chelsea, we should have played better, and we were a bit naive and weak. You know, that's been the highlights of Palace really for over the last 10 years. Apart from that, it's been 15th to flipping 11th spot for the last 5-6 years. Do you know what I mean?
Out of the 3 high spots you just mentioned were not even in the league.
Exactly.
So
it's frustrating. There's no change. There's no ambition. No one knows what direction and where the club's going to. You know, it's just the same thing. We're very inconsistent, very wishy-washy. You know, we're just sort of just staying around in the same area. We're just not good enough. The football hasn't been good enough. It's not entertaining. We're not sharp. We got no quality. You know, we got no identity in our play. No one knows what's going on, and it's just chaos and it's complete misery at the club, honestly.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, right? You know what gets me? Consider about lack of ambition and lack of direction, and this is why, why we're here. We started this. We ended last season with Steve Parish saying, you know, time for progression and all this crap that he's come out with. Well, now anyway, and I think a lot of us were still dumb enough to believe what he was saying. We thought, right, he's going to invest. We're going to get this new stand up, but we're going to invest as well. We're going to actually put some money into this club and try and get where we want to be. Then Roy Hodgson comes in, and we all was like, what is going on? But then even he said, I want top 10. And we started the season fairly well. When we got the draw against Fulham, like I said, it rung alarm bells, but a positive to it was I thought, well, Roy's clearly on the same page as us because we've been saying that Steve Parish hasn't invested enough, and he basically said it in a roundabout way. So I thought, right, Roy's on the same page here. Good, okay. Then we beat United, great, and we draw against Forest, okay. And then, you know, then we go on to play the Newcastle game. You can argue that they are a very, very good side and we're in form.
Yeah,
the goals could have been avoided, but you know, every team does get a batter in a season, and I thought, we could still move on from this. Then we play Tottenham, and then after the game, he goes on about the youth. That has turned the ambition of the club in a complete circle.
More like a downward spiral.
More like a downward. I don't know why I said circle. More like a downward spiral because it's because like. We run off youth. Apparently, we've got one of the best youth systems in the country, right? But it's not being used.
Exactly.
Use them. Like I don't see why we can't, because we clearly haven't got enough experienced players. Because Roy's out there moaning about it, but now he's moaning about the players come on and don't do anything. It's because they've not been given a run. You can't expect Dresler and Raksaki to come on for 10 minutes. For the first time, for like the third time in a season, and then say, "Oh, he's no good," because you haven't given him enough time. It's like Matthias Franca. Matthias Franca's probably put in that bracket, and he said, "Oh, he's not good enough."
Because you're not playing him that much.
You're not playing him.
You're not playing him in a match like Luton Town, for Christ's sake. I mean, come on.
No.
You know what I mean? It's a flipping joke.
And then a week ago or 2 weeks ago, bearing in mind. Before this, we lost to Everton as well. Then, I don't know whether it's true or not. I've been told it's not true, but how this Instagram post posted it, and it's not true at all, I find it hard to believe. So I think Roy did say it in a roundabout way. That's my belief. I don't know what you guys believe, but he's saying, think of teams like Charlton, look where they are now, and the fans were hoping for massive ambitions. Well, isn't that what he wanted at the start of the season? He wanted progression. So something during the season has obviously happened where Roy has completely turned his ambitions from there to there. I don't think that's
because of Paris.
It's like the ambition has gone from where we want to where Parish wants, ultimately.
Can I ask you something, speaking about Roy and Parish right now and that as well? Because Steve Parish, obviously, over the last 2 weeks, he did a podcast with Gary Lineker and Managerial. Said a few interesting things. Roy did a podcast with FYP for the 500 podcast and that for them and that. And he said some interesting stuff and that as well. You know, he was sort of being realistic, you know, as a Palace fan, because he's a Palace fan himself and that. But at the same time, would you say at the beginning of the season, he was saying he wanted ambition, he wanted to get top 10, and then you listen to some of the stuff he said in that podcast, and you're sort of thinking, did you ever want ambition, Roy? Because he was just saying, look, sometimes you lose, sometimes it's not all about winning, stuff like that. And it's just like, did you really want us to progress, or are you just happy for us to be afloat at around 15th to 12th spot on that? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I've just answered that question. I've just answered it because I already said. He said at the start, when he came in early July, he said, I want top 10. When that Instagram post first published about think of Charlton and all that, I even went all the way back through the archives on Palace's actual Instagram, and I went to when he was first appointed back in July, and it says in a quote, I want a top 10 finish. We think we've got the resources to be able to do so. So he's completely changed the ambition. So either he was lying.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to prove a bit.
Either he was lying, like you think, or asking us, or something's happened where he's just gone, no, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to happen.
I reckon. I mean, I could be talking a load of waffle and crap here, but I potentially think him and Parrish have had a falling out behind the scenes, and it wouldn't surprise me, you know, with some of the stuff they've been saying publicly.
Well, because mate, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That's the problem.
Exactly. We
don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That's the problem.
Yeah.
As fans, we do not what goes on behind the scenes. It's like transfers. If we're interested in a player, but then we say, we're interested to buy this and this and or this or that, and that player's due to go in for a medical, but then 24 hours later they're saying, sadly his medical's off due to an injury he's picked up, but then we don't know that. So I don't know. It baffles me. I don't know what's going on inside our club.
Yeah.
These days. But there you go.
The thing is with Parrish, we'll talk a bit about him and the board right now. He don't communicate with the fans. He's never been that kind of person. I mean, he doesn't tell us anything regarding transfers, regarding us trying to progress or anything. The stand, if that's even still bloody happening at this rate. Honestly, it's frustrating.
Tristan, I know what's going on within the new stand actually.
Oh, go on, hold on, Mason.
Guess what they're going to be building? They're going to be building a Nando's.
What, in the new stands?
Well, where in the downstairs from the new stand, there's going to be a Nando's, and I think Morley's were trying to look for sponsorship.
Well, that's something new.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that from? Where'd you get that?
Well, I'm curious, Jordan.
Apparently, I've got a good friend of mine. One of the stewards told me at Palace, but one of the stewards told me.
Is that so? We're going to get rid of Cinch and have Nando's instead. Oh, great!
No, we're not.
That's better. Though, I'd say that.
Get rid of Cinch. We're not getting rid of Cinch, mate. No, I think it's. But yeah, that's what I got told by a good mate of mine that's a steward at Palace. So yeah, there's going to be a Nando's apparently.
Chicken Nando's.
Yeah. Anyway, Tristan, you said that the owner, that Parish doesn't communicate with the fans and all that, and I hear what you say.
As well as he should.
Yeah, but there are other clubs where the owners don't communicate either. But
I know, that is true. But just recently, he's been getting worse.
The thing is, at least those other clubs that I'm talking about at least do their job.
Yeah,
what they should be there to do. I mean, what infuriates me, right, is I wouldn't be as mad if the Premier League table over the last 10 years stayed the same. It's just that the only thing in the Premier League that stayed the same is pretty much us. Because you look at other teams, and I do see what Hodgson said about Charlton a little bit, because, Hodgson could, if we got relegated, people would be saying to us, I told you so. Look at what we didn't. You know, if we'd have gone for progression, it wouldn't have worked. Look, we're in the Championship now. I do understand a little bit, but what infuriates me is that you've got Brighton, Villa, Villa, right, have been in the Championship while we've been in the Prem. Same as Fulham, in finished top 10 last season, now level on points with us. Wolves been in Europa League. Wolves have been in Europa League. Brentford finished 9th last season.
Southampton, Burnley, teams like that.
Burnley once they got Europa League qualifier. We are just in. I don't even know how to describe it because it's gone on for so long. We've just been in mediocrity for so long, and I'm just like, what is going on? What is keeping us from moving forward? You can't blame.
Exactly.
There was a point where you could blame administrative costs when we first went up.
That was a long time ago, though.
Could it be?
That's another excuse.
Could it be Parish? Now, I don't blame him in one way. I know the reason why he doesn't want to spend. Could it be why he doesn't want to fall back into administration again?
I don't think so.
But that could be the excuse.
We're not near administration. Exactly.
True.
Any owner could say, "Oh, I'm not going to spend because I could go into administration."
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing. It's not a Palace thing. It's like that for every club.
It could happen to any club. Yeah.
That's not just exclusive. That's not exclusive to Palace.
No,
I mean, you can't tell me. I mean, look at Bury, for example. I know they've been like reformed and all that, right? Say if a miracle happened and they got promoted back to, if they went through all the stages again and got back up to like League One, and you know, you're not going to tell me that by then their owners aren't going to spend because they might be put back into administration.
But look at Brighton. They went from the Goldstone to the Amex within a few years. And they've got an incredible owner now in Tony Bloom, pushing them into, you know, further in Europe. Like, come on, we as a club, we deserve at least something. Like, I don't know, just.
I don't know. I really don't know, because if you look at the games we've got, right, West Ham. Can I see us getting anything at West Ham? James Ward-Prowse on corners. You know how it's going to go.
Nah,
he's going to put a wicked ball in.
I know they don't have. I know they haven't got Antonio, but they've got Paqueta.
They're going to put a wicked ball in. Ager, bang, or Zuma.
The one thing I will say is, do not start Will Hughes on Sunday.
We got no choice but to start him at this rate. The Cure's out for the rest of the season, man. There's no way you want to see Riedewald or Mather in there in that defensive role. Lerma can't do it by himself. I mean,
the thing is with Riedewald,
can I say something in that as well before I talk? Yeah.
The thing is with Riedewald is that when he comes on the pitch, he does try.
Yeah,
I know, but he's about 2 steps behind the pace of the game. You saw him
against I know what you mean. I know what you mean. He can't start. I'm not saying start him, but when he comes on the pitch, he does try. But anyway, what was you saying?
The thing is, I look at the positions. Yeah, we need strengthening. We need a striker and a winger. But one position that they got to spend in January is on a defensive mid, someone like Doucouré, where it's a loan signing or a permanent signing of a 5 mil. I couldn't care who he is. We just need someone in that position. We need that spine of the team in the CDM position. Without that area, we're screwed. Because Doucouré, he does a lot for us in that, you know, going forward, lobbing balls up the pitch, and he sits in front of that back four to prevent teams running through us. When he didn't play against Luton during the second half and against Everton when he never even featured, we were exposed. We were like sitting ducks. We were getting absolutely slaughtered.
The thing is, right, Rich off Eagle-Eyed
not being in there.
The thing is, right, Rich off Eagle-Eyed Football said it best. I don't know if he's coming on this stream or not, but he said, even though Eze and Doucouré came off against Luton, if everyone in the Palace fan base is now saying that because of those 2 injuries, we lost the game, then that shows how crap our investment was in the summer and in previous windows.
He's 100%
it shows.
On.
If everyone's saying that we lost to Luton because of 2 players, it's like Eze and Elise and now the new Zaha.
They basically
2-man band.
It's like take that, innit? It's like take that, the music band, innit?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean,
Honestly,
imagine if we didn't have Elise. Imagine if Elise was still out till Jan and we lost to Korea and Eze. We'd be. I mean, I
there's
wouldn't
no
even have
team
any
left.
confidence in us getting a point. Exactly.
Exactly.
There's no sharpness or edge in our team. Elise is the only
It's
one who's
like,
got that quality.
exactly.
You know, I mean, you see him with his
And I'm going
defensive
to be,
work
and
against
I'm,
Luton.
and
Do you
I'm
know what I mean? And going forward, it's crazy. It was brilliant. And the rest were just
like, what do you
ordinary and
guys think
useless.
about going up against Chelsea like a few days after Christmas, like after Boxing Day?
Well, all I can say is keep your Christmas drink till the 27th, and then just get hammered, and then you won't know what the score was till the next day.
Yeah.
Because
I got a comment from Jamie. Yeah. I got a comment from Jamie Vieira. Roy plays excellent football that no longer works in modern day football times, and that's
ancient
a fair
football, yeah.
point in that as well. Yeah, that's yeah, definitely. You're right there in that. I've got another comment from Jasper Tomlin. He says, "Who wants to manage Palace? We have no transfer budget or anything to work with. What does do for you?
What does do for your CVs?
For
Hey,
your
listen, I've
CV,
got, yeah. Well, I've got one. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah.
I've got a question, right?
Yeah, go on, Mason, go on.
Is Ralph Hasenhüttl in a job?
Oh, good question.
Oh, I don't think he is. You know, I'm not sure. I don't think he is. He got sacked last season, didn't he, by Southampton a year ago today or something around this sort of time.
Not being
I don't
funny,
think
right?
he is. I don't think he is.
He took a Southampton team that finished, I think it was 17th. They just stayed up, and transformed them into a team that were at least trying to progress. I'd argue, we didn't finish 17th when we appointed Vieira, but the concept's still there. I think Hasenhüttl did to Southampton a bit more longer term what Vieira did to Palace for that one season. In a way.
I agree a bit. Yeah,
tried to progress. The board was spending a bit more money on players. They were going somewhere, and then there was that one season where they finished bottom. But it did get sacked very early into that season. So no one's mentioned Hasenhüttl. Is he in a job?
Shout. I don't think he is. I would have heard if he was in a job. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he is.
Mason, shall I ask my Alexa for you?
If you want.
Yeah, if you want.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what she. Let's get her involved in the stream. Let's see.
Good old Alexa. Oh my god. Oh god. Let me have a look at a few comments in that. Joe Films, he says, "Are you going West Ham?" I think all three of us are going to be at West Ham.
Yeah.
A lot of it's going to be a full sellout there, so that's going to be interesting, big time. Roy was going to leave at the end of the season. This season, yeah, he's definitely. Well, he's either going to leave at the end of this season or he's going to be sacked within the next few weeks if we don't really flipping start winning games and picking up points and that.
I'm going to say something right now. People watching this stream right now. People watching this stream right now, right? You can clip this, you can do whatever you want, right? If Roy Hodgson is at Palace next season, I'm not going.
He won't be, mate.
I don't think he's going to be here.
No, his contract's only up for a year. No, he won't be.
But there could be a question of the extent. I mean, look at when he did all right at the end of last season, and there was a question of a contract extension, and we were like, "Oh, no way! They must be joking with us." And then bang. So if I mark my word, I will stand my ground right now. If Roy is Palace manager in 24-25, I am not going. Done. There we go.
Strong. That's a strong quote.
Yeah.
Jordan, before you head off on that, what did Alexa say? Is he employed?
Nope. Yeah. Well, Alexa did say yes, but she didn't say what club.
Oh, probably somewhere.
That's why no one's been mentioning him. Then I was just thinking, like, of all the platforms I've been watching talking about the club, no one's mentioned him. So I thought, oh yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Jordan, man, see you at West Ham, bro. Have a good
you
one.
Too, bro.
I appreciate you coming on that, man.
And Man United did draw 3-3 against Galatasaray at last.
3-3, blimey.
They're out the Champions League, I'm assuming. They can't win for toffees in that competition. Anyway, have a good one, Jordan, man. Take care, yeah.
You too, buddy. Take care, Mason. Are you at West Ham on Sunday, Mason?
I'm there. I am there, yeah.
Are you guys upper tier
on my channel?
Are you upper tier or lower tier? Both of you?
I don't know. My mate bought the tickets. I don't know where we're going.
Yeah. I'm upper tier actually, so
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
very interesting to see what the atmosphere is like, especially with all the social media
Yeah.
talking about the club, and it just feels very samey. I don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that they bought tickets and they're not going now. So
Not
so
surprised.
have we
we'll
sold out our
see.
full allocation?
Yeah, it's all sold out. All sold out. 3,000 Palace
Yeah.
fans off Sunday.
Yeah.
So
Well, I got told Chelsea won't be a full sellout because it won't sell out that quick.
we'll see about that. Who
Well,
knows?
let's hope that's a Christmas present
Yeah.
for me then. But
Anyways,
anyway,
take care, bro. In a bit,
I
man.
hope
See
so,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Let's have a look at a few more comments in that as well. So someone mentioned
the Wimbledon manager. Then, what's your thoughts?
Man, look,
Blimey.
that's a first. Like a League Two manager coming straight up to the Prem. I don't think I've seen that. That would never go down well. I'm just being honest in that. He might have a bit more ambition than Roy, but you need experience this day and age to be a good Premiership manager. Speaking of a good experience, speaking of a good experience,
we and you got ambition. Stick us two in the dugout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, put us on the pitch. with what I've seen so far. Someone says,
I said to my dad
here.
next to me, I said, the lack of players we've got, Roy could sub himself on.
What? Oh, good Lord. At this rate, yeah, he probably could, to be fair. What about Graham Potter? Joe says Potter should be your next manager. A lot of people have been mentioning him.
The thing is with
He's
Graham
heavily
Potter,
linked to Palace.
The thing is, right, I would hate it if he got appointed and everyone goes, oh, but he used to manage Brighton. At that point, I don't really care about that. But
same here.
The thing is that everyone's going to be saying, yeah, but he failed at Chelsea. Look at the amount of money they spent and he still couldn't get them anywhere. The thing is with Graham Potter, I think he's better at managing smaller clubs and getting them to progress rather than being put in a big club already that have star players and players in abundance and
like
actually and giving them regular game time. So I do think that Graham Potter would be, if Roy was sacked now, I'd be surprised if Graham Potter was not in the top 2 favourites.
Yeah, no, honestly. Oh, we got someone, got Stan. How you doing, Stan?
Hey, boys, doing you all right?
Yeah, good.
Well, as good as we can be.
Yeah. First and foremost, thanks for coming on. What do you make of the current situation at Palace right now? Because it's not looking good, honestly. There's a lot of big talking points happening right now. Honestly, it's not been the best few weeks, I should say.
So just a couple of things. I don't know, obviously, my paths may cross. I actually gone back in the nest quite a lot. I've been one of the regular contributors for a while, but obviously I saw your show and I thought I watch your channel as well, so I thought I'd come in and have a look. But listen, mate, I've been saying this since 2016, okay? I've been saying this since we lost the cup final. In fact, before that, Steve Parish has done everything he can for this club, okay?
Yeah.
But in 2016, he should have fired Pardew in March. I don't care that he got to the cup final. Allardyce would have won us that cup, if I'm being honest with you, because he'd have set us up properly. He'd have won us that cup final. And it's been mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake ever since then. And I've been saying it, and I've been on social media platforms everywhere across whatever I can think of. People like, Stan, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. And the chickens are coming home to roost now, lads. That's what's happening. It's complete and utter negligence.
They are. Seriously, they are.
It's complete and utter negligence. 11 years of Premier League club, and listen, no disrespect to Luton Town, they fully deserve to win on Saturday because we were terrible. But we haven't got a squad that's capable of beating Luton Town after 11 years in the Premier League. Like, what are we doing, lads? We've got, and don't want to be ageist here.
Shocking.
We've got a 76-year-old manager. He's 76 years old. No one should be working that age. And he's, do you know what I mean? Like,
I hear you. You're 100% spot on.
The thing is, if you don't laugh, you cry. So yeah,
exactly.
But
at this rate,
there is that. And listen, you think about it. Okay, so Vieira came in. They backed him one window. Every other window, no, didn't back him. Right? And don't get me wrong. He signed his own death warrant. Vieira in a way, because he didn't play Eze, he was stubborn with his tactics, etc., etc. In that second summer window, he was not backed at all. They spent the entire summer chasing Gallagher, and God knows who else, and they're just like, they sacked him. All right, okay, if you're going to sack him, who are you bringing in? And he brings Roy Hodgson back. And like, I understand the fanfare and he got those results, etc., etc. But that is going backwards.
You know,
there's
not
no
the next
concrete
level.
plan. There's no concrete plan with regards to what's it called? Like with regards to that, and that's the biggest issue in my mind. And I just think, like, what are we doing? Like, let's be real with Parish. Save the club 2010, brilliant. Always be grateful for that. But the guy pulls more money out of this club than he's ever put into it.
Oh, yeah,
and that's a fact.
Yeah,
he gets paid. Doesn't he get paid like £3 million a year?
Something like that. Something crazy.
He's the fifth highest paid exec in the Premier League.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right, that's
more than the big clubs.
That's absolutely criminal. And listen, new main stand. How long is he's gonna pull the wool over the fans' eyes with a main stand? Like, how long is he gonna do that? Right? Because I'm not being funny, right? In the time that he's announced the main stand, Daniel Levy has gone and got planning permission, demolished White Hart Lane, and built the best stadium on the planet.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
now, I'm not comparing us to Spurs.
Stadium,
right? Brentford have gone and built a brand new stadium. You know, 18,000 seater, but they've gone and built it. You know, I'm talking stadiums here, and he's going on about building a stand that's going to be, let's be honest, lads, like Sellers Park ain't a great ground, is it? It's going to be lipstick
proper old school.
Yeah, it's going to be lipstick on a pig, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He's upgrading big time. The whole stadium, not just a flipping stand. I'm not going to lie. You're right on that.
And listen, like, I was always like many other people, one game at a time, let's see what happens, etc., etc. The transfer market was shocking. I mean, you've gone and spent 40 million quid on, you know, Franca, who has played a handful of games in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson's his manager, who doesn't play youth. And lads, no one knows how good he is. He could be a global superstar, or he could be going on loan at Dulwich Hamlet in January. You don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you don't
know, right?
You don't know what to expect from him at this rate, because he's not even playing that much.
You don't know. And he's gone and spent 15 million quid on Dean Henderson, right? And then
20.
You highlight this, or someone highlights it on social media, and they're like, you're unrealistic. You think we should spend 140 million quid? No, but there is a better way of spending 40 million pound this summer than on those two.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, what it's showing right now, to be fair, he's not even giving them a sniff. It's like he never wanted them in the first.
Injured, he can't.
I know. But like with Franco, he's a prime example. You know what I mean? It's just like we're buying players for a lot of money, like Franco, and he's not giving them a chance. And it's like we could have potentially used that money for a player like, I don't know, Nacho, Sinistero. Do you know what I mean? Because we need more force up front. And, we go and spend 20 mil on a flipping goalkeeper. Yeah, Hudson-Odoi another one. He picked Forest over us, and the guy's from South London. He only lives like 10 minutes down the road from where I live.
We weren't even in for him. I don't think.
Says it all about us, really, don't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
no. I mean, look at the January window when we was apparently going to get Semenyo. I know he's not been the best of strikers for Bournemouth, but at least it's someone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
going forward,
But every club in the Premier League is looking for a 25 goal a season forward. Like that, I can understand, but you've got Edouard. So this is what I'll tell you about Saturday, right? So Edouard, listen, he's not the greatest, okay, but if you play to his strengths, he will score goals. He was actually having a good game on Saturday. He was one of the few that was actually trying to do something, get on the end of it, etc., etc. Roy Hodgson took him off and put that absolute donkey on up front. I don't know how Mateta is a Premier League footballer, lads. I genuinely couldn't tell you.
It's the same process every game, no matter how we do in the game. It's the same thing. Give it till 75-ish minute. He then takes Edouard off, brings Mateta on. It happens every single game. And I can't understand why. Even when he scored the equaliser against Everton, he was having a bad game. But you'd have thought that would have built up his confidence to try and maybe push the team on and maybe get it. He then takes him off and brings Mateta on as soon as we equalise. And I'm like, why? Are we trying to defend a 2-2 draw in a must-win game?
At home as well.
At home. I don't understand what the actual tactic is. Is it in his contract? Mateta has to come on 75th minute every game.
Probably is.
The only way that
it happens every game.
It happens every game.
This is what I will say. The other thing that I just can't understand, right? So we've got what have we got? 4 points out of so we got 0-0 with Fulham.
Yeah,
I went to that game. It was terrible. 0-0 with Forest. How do you think I felt? I flew all the way from Canada to watch that game, mate.
Right, you, mate.
Yeah, and then we've got 2 points there. So we've got 5 points from the run of games that we've just had, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? We've got nothing out of Everton. We've got nothing out of Luton Town. And I've just looked at the fixtures. I'm telling you, there is a real danger and a real possibility we might not get a single point on the board until January 31st. When we play
it wouldn't surprise me. At this rate, wouldn't surprise me. With the injuries we got, with the spine of our team, with our 2 best players being out, with Eze being out for a month, with Kure, he's not going to be back for the rest of the season. He is not coming back. That was a horrible injury he suffered. I saw the whole thing go down at Luton. With them 2 players being out, we got at least say he will get a couple goals in that and maybe show off a bit of quality. Apart from that, who have we got really that's going to step up? You know, I look at the teams we've got: Liverpool, City, Brighton at home, Chelsea away, West Ham this weekend, which is a massive. Brentford, even the Bournemouth game's difficult. But the way Bournemouth are, like I was saying, you know, at the beginning of this stream, they're on fire right now. Yeah. And I look at us and we got no momentum. We got
they'll turn us
system,
over.
We got nothing. They will.
West Ham will turn us over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Bournemouth will turn us over Wednesday. I also think that I hope this isn't the case, but I think they just won't sack Roy. Even if we lose the next 6 or 7 games, they won't get rid of him. I can just see it happening. Here's another thing as well, right?
Yeah.
So Vieira's gone, Hodgson's come in, he's done his thing. Why in the summer have we not done what any other top club would do? And by top club, I mean, you know, most Premier League clubs. Why aren't we going to steal another club's manager? Why are we not going in and going to Ipswich? We want McKenna come to Palace in the summer. Do you know what I mean? Or why are we not going to, you know, to some of our rivals in the Premier League that are below us, where their managers have done a good job? Or we're going to Forest, let's get Cooper, what's his buyout, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? Why?
Yeah, definitely.
And it was the same when Roy left the first time round.
Yeah,
he's hunting in the bargain basement for managers that aren't in a job. I mean, you know, look who rejected him as well.
Santo.
You know, you've got Espirito Santo, you've got Favre. You know, all of these. You know, this is what I'm saying. I don't know if you've read an article in the Athletic about Friedman as well. That tells you everything. Parish is involved in everything, right?
Yeah, behind the scenes and that, of course.
And listen, I've run global companies, right? And I've worked with people all over the world. And there's certain things, if you run a business, you can get involved in or you can't get involved in. Do you know what I mean? But Parish, apparently, he's involved in everything. He's nitpicky and he's like David Brent. You know?
He's a bit involved too much.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I honestly think
about him and that, you know what I mean?
It's going to get toxic. It is really going to get toxic.
It will. It's happened once this year. It's going to happen again at this rate when you lose to sides like Luton and Everton, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Has it happened once?
Where we are. There's away at Brighton.
Yeah.
It kicked off Villa as well, and then the Sunderland 4-0 a couple of years back.
Yeah.
That's not a couple of years, 6-7 years back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bad times.
Thing is, right, with the run of form that we've had, right, and someone mentioned it on the back of the nest. Yeah, but I totally agree with what you said. Under Roy in lockdown, there was genuinely a point where I hated watching Palace.
100%. 100%.
Where we were losing these kind of games. We were losing against Burnley. I know Liverpool ain't like Luton and Everton right now, but we lost 7-0.
At home. 7-0 at home.
At home. 3-0 against Villa and all that. I know that was 2-3 years ago. But I'm nearly there. I'm nearly at the point. It's like we're watching. What would the 20 to 21 season have been like if there was fans actually there?
True.
Yes,
it's like
we are.
A repeat.
We are, and I will tell you one thing as well. If you thought lockdown, COVID, Christmas was miserable, football-wise, lads, this is going to shape up to be the worst of them all.
It's just looking it's like that. Realistically, yeah.
It is like I'm normally quite a positive person, but this after then the other thing I would say is I know people have different ways of supporting their team, but I watched your vlog, Tristan, at Luton.
Yeah,
at the end of the game, there's people running down and clapping the play. What are you clapping for?
Mention that.
What are you clapping for? Who are you clapping?
You
should be whistling at them.
Yeah, I was. I just stormed out and just told the players where to get off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was clapping like this. I'm like, come on, it's Luton Town. No disrespect to Luton, but we should be beating them. I mean, they're a championship side of the Prem.
I can understand.
It just sums us up, really, honestly.
I can understand losing 1-0, 2-1, 3-1 to Man City or whatever and clapping the players. It's a tough game. You should not be clapping Roy and the players losing to Luton Town. There should be whistles. Yeah. They should be whistled off that pitch, lads. You know,
not being funny, right? I reckon we could probably get drawn against Ramsgate in the FA Cup, still lose, and there'd be fans clapping the players off. It probably would happen.
Yeah, well, the club's gone soft. I mean, I sat in the main stand last time I was there, and I got told off for swearing. Got told off for swearing.
I've had that.
Yeah, I used to be in the White Horse Lane, and when not even for swearing, if you just chant, people would look at you like, "What's he singing?" They just give you some weird look. I'm like, "Come on, this is football, for Christ's sake."
Yeah,
that's why I moved to the home style. You know, it's a lot better there. Yeah. You know,
that's the
honestly.
Thing. I would
soft. I agree with you on that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I would say obviously keep the faith. I don't think it's as simple as that anymore, though, to be honest with you. And I think one more thing I will say is when Roy left the first time, I think every Palace fan, as disgruntled as they were, they gave it a chance, right? So they gave Parish a new lease of life. They wanted Vieira to succeed. They wanted the back in, etc., right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everyone was bought into it. I mean, that 21-22 season, I think we finished 12th or 13th or something like that.
We should have got Conference League that year. With the games we drew in that, we drew a lot of games that we were leading in.
It was quite a tight.
Been up there.
It was quite a tight difference.
Yeah,
well, I think.
Yeah. And we, FA Cup semi-final, and it was something to build on. So, what's the club's mentality in not going and backing the manager at the time? In that summer.
It shows no ambition from then till now. There's no ambition. They'll say there's ambition. They'll say, people like Parish will say, we're going to take this club to the next level. I mean,
he's not, mate.
He's not. It's nonsense. It's just all a load of waffle and just crappy talk, in my opinion. And it's just showing in performances and that this season.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Honestly, I think if we continue this way, we might not get relegated this season but there is now a chance. I mean, there's quite a big chance, I would say. But within the next 3 years, if we keep this going, we'll be in Championship. We'll be down there with Swansea, Stoke, Norwich,
Millwall.
Millwall. QPR,
we'll be in the Championship.
It won't be good.
Yeah. And the other thing is he's going on podcasts, Parish is, and Hodgson as well. And Parish is saying,
it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
The fans that are unhappy, have only been following us for 10 years. Like, I'm nearly 40 years old. I grew up in the area, followed the club all my life, and I'm not happy. And I know a number of people who also aren't happy. I've seen on Twitter there's flags coming out at the games or at West Ham and at Bournemouth to signal Parish out and stuff like that. I mean, people have had it.
Finally, if that's happening, then finally, because we need to make word against this now. I've been calling for it for the last year. They've got. I'm not even. It's
not that it won't be the HF. It won't be HF. They won't do it.
It won't be. Fair enough. But
it'll be someone else.
Fans just need to let the board know that what they've done recently over the last few seasons, over the last 10 years, it's not good enough because we haven't progressed and we haven't achieved. And they're saying there's ambition, but there's not really any ambition. They just want to stay in the Premier League and have another crap mediocre season, finishing like 11th to 16th or something. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it's looking right now. We're not.
I don't think we'll finish 11th to 16th. I think at this moment in time, listen, we can't beat Luton Town, right?
Yeah.
Do you think if Palace played Sheffield United tomorrow, they'd beat them? I don't think so.
Wouldn't surprise if we lost that as well. To be honest,
not being funny. I think it's embarrassing in itself that in March there's actually going to be questions: can Luton do the double over Palace? That's when we've got them. at Selhurst.
We're not great at home, right? So
we're rubbish at home. That's the
We're
other
rubbish
thing as
at
well. I mean,
I looked
what's
before
going on?
the Luton game.
Honestly.
I saw at home we're 16th in the league. Away, we're in the top 5.
yeah, there is that.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Why are we so negative at home? I don't
Yeah.
get it.
It's the manager. It's Roy Hodgson and
to be fair.
what's it called? The tactics that he deploys. And I do think that even though he wasn't backed in the summer, he should be doing better with this team. You know, he's got some really good attacking players there. You know, I know you've got Raksaki's injured, but you know what? Like, you've got nothing to lose playing a Hamada and playing
Franco
over someone like Mateta. I know different positions, but like, stop playing Mateta. Do you know what I mean? So you just, he's absolutely terrible. You know, centre mid, we haven't got anyone. Bring Ozo in the weekend. He won't do it. He'll play Will Hughes, who's got the turning circle of a Croydon tram. Do you know what I mean? He's about us, yeah. Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, but that's. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what this is what I'm saying. But it's also not some of the players' fault. It's not Joel Ward's fault that he plays every single week. No, it's just the club.
We ain't got the backup.
Yeah, they haven't replaced him, and that's what I'm saying. 40 million quid. You could have. There's definitely a right back you could have bought for 15 million quid. You know,
Boyer would have been ideal.
Anyone? Do you remember? I'm surprised actually when Villa bought Matty Cash back in the day from Forest that we weren't all over that at 50. He's a snip at 15 million quid. Look at him now.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Top player, one of the best right backs in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's it, lads. But listen, we keep the faith. Maybe someone will come on here and defend the ownership and the club to the hills, because they, you know, there are still a lot of people that want to do that as well, right? So, but
yeah, it's half and half really right now within the
half
fan base. Hey, before you go off, Stan, by the way, are you parish in or parish out right now? And
out.
You know,
been parish out since 2006.
Out.
You know what? Well, thank you for what he's done.
Still be interested.
To a certain point, but like, please, like, honestly, please leave, because he's causing more harm than good.
It's not good enough, is it?
No.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on and that.
Right, nice one.
Yeah, take care. Appreciate
it.
Lads.
Cheers. Take care, mate. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Well,
that was a good one.
Yeah, I think that's nice to get, you know, different fans' perspectives on here and that as well. And that,
I tell you what, I liked the White Hart Lane analogy with the stand. I thought that was quite a good. I never thought of it like that, to be fair. I think when the actual idea of the main stand was brought out, Tottenham was still playing in Wembley.
Oh no, it's just.
So
do you know what, Mason? I just want to sum us up really right now as a club. It's gotten to the point where I can remember back in March where something with the Vieira situation and the whole board thing and that, you know, I was angry. I was screaming. I've gotten to the point where I sort of just can't be asked. I'm just tired. I just sort of know what to expect week.
Mate, I was screaming on TikTok honestly, so much to the point where I was on the news, mate. I was on ITV.
I saw that. Yeah,
when Patrick Vieira got sacked, I was on the news. I was screaming that.
I saw that. Oh God,
mate. Honestly, it's got me to a point where I'm just so demotivated. Everyone
I was lost motivation and confidence, man.
Everyone just says to me online, if you go on my TikTok comments for 5 minutes, you'll see multiple people saying, "You're so negative. What do you expect? You're Crystal Palace." What the thing is, right? Most of them do not even support the club.
Yeah.
We know more about the club than they do. So that's the first one.
Most of them are Man United fans who live in flipping Peckham or Kent or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Second point is talk nonsense.
It's that like, if the shoe was on the other foot and it was happening to their club, say Arsenal, right? Say if Arsenal, I think I'm not comparing this to Arsenal, but remember when that lockdown season when Arsenal were probably having they finished above us
season,
but they were having that terrible season where I think by Christmas they were by Christmas they were nearly in the bottom three. That's how bad they were at that point.
Yeah, they were.
If they were having constant seasons from then, and AFTV were doing constant rants every single week, do you think fans will go on there and say, I've got no right to say that? Why should anyone settle for what we're doing? What if Arsenal were the same level as Palace, would they be getting constant things about it? Do you know what I mean? I think it comes down to the fact that not a lot of people talk about Palace a lot, because again, Palace is just a stay. I just don't. This sums Palace up. How can we have the players that we've got and the ability that we've got and the youngsters we've got and still play like Stoke?
Most of it's down to the manager. The players, in my opinion, and judge. I'll go back to the Luton game again. There's a part of me that I think the players. Roy's lost the dressing room, I think, and I think the players aren't playing for Roy anymore because we got the players. We clearly can play the football. We got the ability. Look at the back end of last season, the Man United result, the Wolves game, for example. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not saying that I disagree with Roy out. I'm not saying that I disagree with people saying Roy out. I'm not disagreeing with people, because when he was first brought in, I was like, this is never going to work. But I feel so sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
Stan was saying, he should not be in a dugout at his age. I bet it took Steve Parish to beg for him to come back.
God knows. It's ridiculous. It's just crazy, isn't it? The whole thing. It's just like. It's just mental that you got a manager that age in the dugout. You know, you look at the whole thing now, and I don't think he wants to be here personally. I don't think he's up for it. I just think he's doing things his way, and if people don't like it, he just sort of either drops them or just doesn't listen or acknowledge to what they're saying. He doesn't take on board. He didn't take criticism that well, in my opinion. And he wouldn't for someone his age. You know what I mean? And what he's been through.
I just feel so demotivated because look, I'm 18 now, right? Going to football as a kid should be the best time ever.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I've been doing this for 9 years, and I'm just watching the same old constant bollocks.
It's dire, isn't it? It's dire.
It's just we do get the odd moment, the odd win against City, United. Even when we beat United in this season, I was like, you know what? We may turn this around. And then we go and play poorly against Fulham, Everton, Luton. I said to my mates, we are the sort of team that have just lost to Luton, but in December we'll beat one of Liverpool, Man City, or Chelsea.
To be honest, mate, we haven't. I can't remember the last time we beat a big six side at home. I think it was Arsenal, weren't it? 2022.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah,
no, last season was the first. I worked it out. Last season was the first season in our history where we didn't beat any of the big six, home or away.
Yeah, this season we've only beaten Man United, and that's it. I mean,
well, the only other games we've had Arsenal and Spurs both at home.
Yeah,
that's it. So
Man United,
we have still got other opportunities to come, but I saw that run in December when the fixtures first came out, and I was like, we better pick up points in that run in November. When the fixtures come out back in May or June, I think, the fixtures come out the week after we signed Lerma, so it was in June. When the fixtures come out in June, I was like, right, that bit in November is critical. And bearing in mind, I did not know who the manager was going to be. Roy Hodgson hadn't been appointed yet. I was like, when we get to November, no matter where we are in the league, they are crucial, because look at what you call it. Completely gone off track now. What was I saying?
As well.
What was I saying, Tristan?
About picking up points and that, picking up points in these matches against Everton and Luton. Look at the run. Ahead of these massive matches in December.
Yeah. Look at the run we've got in December and Jan, right? Even at the end of Jan, we've got Sheffield United, and then we've got Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool again. We've got one game.
We're screwed.
Honestly. And then I think we've got a massive run of big games in March and April.
Yeah,
it's a little bit like last season. honestly, you said, I don't know after what game it was, but you said it's going to be like 18-19, where we do really well away from home, do crap at home and finish mid-table.
And it's feeling like that, but worse. The thing is, it's feeling like that. It's feeling like that, but worse, but really bad. It's because of defeats at home to Luton, so home to Everton and away to Luton. You know, in the manner of it.
Luton. Like, you've got Roy Hodgson saying after the Everton game, I wanted to hurt myself, to be honest, because of how angry I was. Well, the anger didn't really come out that much on the pitch against Luton, Roy.
It didn't. It was naive and weak, weren't it? And woeful.
Like, I was watching your vlog, and I didn't only just notice the fans clapping the players, but I also noticed even when we went 2-1 down. Yes, Mateta hit the post, but apart from that, we weren't pressing. We were passing backwards, passing across the byline. Not being fun. When Everton lost 2-1 to Luton at Goodison Park, I watched that game. Well, it was in full after the game. And when it got to minute 70, they were pumping the ball forward, trying to get Calvert-Lewin on the end of crosses, trying to get Jack Harrison to put a brilliant ball in towards Calvert-Lewin, get an equaliser, and then maybe push on. They didn't. But then, even though they lost against Luton, and that is a disgrace in itself, you can say that they at least tried to find the equaliser. One moment of Elise brilliance, I thought when Elise put that in, I thought there's no way we're losing this game. I said, there's no way we are now losing this game because Elise has just scored an absolute screamer. We're going to now try and go for it. The complete opposite happened.
Who would you say is the fault for their second goal? Because I think both of them, Anderson and Johnson, the communication was poor and they really both cocked up. And
I think they both share it in equal parts.
Yeah,
I think Johnson should be calling for the ball if he's to retrieve it. But you look at Anderson.
What was he doing?
The ball is travelling towards Anderson. When Ogbene first crosses that ball in, it's travelling in his direction. Then he moves backwards, thinking that Johnson is going to get it. So I think Anderson should have cleared it, especially if they're unsure. You don't let the ball run at fast pace across your own box. No, that is what you're taught from the age of 6, 7. When the ball's being crossed into the box, if you're uncertain that your keeper's not going to get there, you act. And he didn't.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a moment in the first half, there was a moment in the game against Everton where Johnston was there to claim it, but he didn't call out. I didn't see his mouth move. He was just silent, trying to catch it. I think it was either Gay or Anderson, headed it out for a corner. That's what you do. I don't understand why they didn't do it again. Well, it's not Gay's fault. I don't know why Anderson didn't implement that in his game. Like, we called Anderson before the games against, I think it was before the game against Spurs because it was a huge talking point.
Yeah.
He was rated one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League.
Not
in
anymore.
Terms of form.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
A long time ago, it feels like. I think we had the best defense in the league. Not anymore. After the last 2 matches.
In the league now.
Well, speaking of Arsenal, 2-0 up against Lens. So, yeah, I mean, they'll definitely be happy winning that. But, I honestly I don't really know what to make of this anymore. It's just like, I feel like things are going to get worse, and I'm really more confident than I was last time. Last time I had a bit of uncertainty, like, we sacked Vieira and Roy came back. I was like, okay, we could actually kick on and start winning games, and we did. But this time out, we got a lot more tougher games. The games that we should have won, we bottled and lost. And the games coming up, I can't see us even getting a point. I think we're going to struggle to score goals, and I think we're going to struggle to dominate matches and be consistent throughout. You know what I mean? It's just going to be a hideous period coming up potentially within the next month.
Mate, I moved in to a uni in Wembley in mid-September. Yeah. I've come back home 6 times to either watch Palace there or to watch it at home.
Yeah.
I've not seen us win. We've not won.
I'm just up doing it. I know we haven't won a home match in September, bro.
5 home games.
Yeah.
Is it 5? We lost to We drew against Fulham, drew against Forest, then we lost to Spurs, Everton. Right, 5 times I've been back, not 6. 5 times I've been going to Palace. 4 times I've seen 2 defeats and 2 goalless draws. And then I've been back to watch Luton on TV. Again, loss. I've been back for 2 draws and 2 goalless draws and 3 losses.
Yeah, it's not good. It's just bad,
whether
isn't it?
to go to Bournemouth because
I am as well, because we're so bad at home. I mean, the way Bournemouth are and the way we are. I mean, there's only one winner by the looks of it. Honest to God. Oh,
honestly, mate, I don't. The thing is, right, the way Iraola's Bournemouth is going as well, and that's got nothing to do with Palace, but the way Iraola's Bournemouth is going, right, it sort of reminds me of Patrick Vieira, sort of, because we didn't have the best of starts under Vieira. It was okay, but
it wasn't brilliant, was it?
Like, we got the win against Tottenham, the point at West Ham, and then we had a bit of a rough patch, and then we started picking up points in December, January, leading on to the FA Cup. Same sort of thing with Iraola. He's got 3 wins as Bournemouth manager so far against Burnley, Newcastle, and Sheffield United. Right? It would not shock me if he went to Selhurst Park and got something out of that.
It wouldn't surprise you one bit.
Because the thing is, right, even these West Ham and Bournemouth, we're talking about losing these 2 games. These 2 games are must-wins. They are. In essence, they are.
Yeah, they are, but I just can't see us winning a game.
They are must-win games.
Long time after
so even if we come away with a draw, I'll be like, well, we were talking about losing the game all week, but it's still not enough.
I just want about speaking of the West Ham game. How would you set up? How would you set up going into the West Ham match? What do you want to see? Who do you expect to start in that? What tactic should Roy go with? Or
this
did
is
he
where
do some of the
this is where
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
This is where I feel very sorry for Roy. Again, going back to the board, because there's now Eze and Decore are also injured. There's now limited options he can choose from.
He's got no excuse but to play the likes of a Madam and Franco, in my opinion.
Mate, well, I mean, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. With Eze being injured, there's now the option of Hamada and Franca, because let's be honest, or you know what, it wouldn't shock me if Jordan Ayew replaces him. Because he was on the bench. He was on the bench against Luton. It wouldn't shock me if Ayew comes in and he gets.
Well, I mean, he's got to start. He'll probably start on the left and
you know what I reckon it's going to be?
At on the right and Eddie up front.
People are going to think I'm going to be ultra negative, but I'm going to go with a 4-4-2. I reckon he's going to go for a 4-4-2. I'll tell you what. He's put in Johnson in goal. He's got no choice. Back 4. He's got no choice. It's got to be the same.
But would you play Franco and Amanda within that team? Would you put them in and take 2 players out? And if so, which 2 players would you take out for them to? He's got to start giving the youngsters a chance.
I think Jeffrey Schlupp does have to start against West Ham. I think if you put him on the left against West Ham, see how he does. I'd say I would say Schlupp on the left. But
where would you play Ayew? Where would you play Ayew though? Where would you play Ayew?
Franco on the left.
He's more of a cam. Franco
more of a cam.
Yeah, he's a cam player. He's not a winger.
So I would put then in that cam. Right, I'll change the formation again. I'll go for the same formation Roy uses every game, 4-2-3-1. I will go with Johnson, same back 4, 2 in the centre defensive midfield, Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma. So I think it's got to be. On the left, I would put Jeffrey Schlupp. On Cam, Franca. On the right, I would say, well, obviously it's got to be Elise.
100%.
100%.
He's definitely
starting. If he started Jordan Ayew over Elise, then I'm walking out the ground.
I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you. That's a kind of crazy or stupid Roy decision that is bound to happen. God knows.
Yeah. And then Edouard up top. I think that is the best possible starting 11 you can put out against West Ham. So Johnston back 4 is St. Mitchell, Anderson, Gahey, Ward. I don't even know about it.
Can I ask you about Ward? Yeah. Would you play Richards at right back? I think we should play Richards because Ward is going to get peppered against West Ham. He's going to get mulligan crucified. He was shaky against Luton. He was poor against Everton.
I think someone's going to be
Burnley. Can you hear me? Oh. looks like I've lost Mason there. Interesting. Got a few comments quick. Let me go for a few comments. Yeah. That is, yeah. I don't know what happened there. Oh, Mason, if you're watching, the link's there for you to join back on that as well. Yeah, so let's go for a few comments. That's kind of caught me off guard a bit there, bloody hell. Yeah. So Eagle Eye Football, big up Tristan, Mason, and Stan. Shout out to Eagle Eye Football. Go and subscribe to them and that. Yeah, Freeman. God, don't even get me started on Freeman. Tyro and the Dinosaur. I'm assuming that's the manager. I'm not sure. He also says here, if Palace were to completely demolish Salah's Park and build a new ground, what stadium would Palace identically ground share with? Oh, God. Maybe Wembley. Maybe we might play a bit in Wembley. Oh, God knows. Or, I don't know, really. Chelsea? Not joking, that's never going to happen. I'm not sure, though. That's a good point. Tyler Keats says, do you reckon this period is worse than before Vieira sack? It's just as worse, but it's going to get a lot worse potentially because I just look at the players we got and the way, the way we're playing and that as well. Let me just have a look, see where Mason is. Oh dear. Yeah, but no. Let me just Mason. Someone's texted him now. My bad, people. That's caught me off guard big time. Big time. That probably an internet connection and that. But yeah, you heard how Mason said, we should set up. In my opinion, with what team I'd go for against West Ham, obviously Johnson in goal. I play Richards at right back, Gay and Anderson, 2 centre backs, left back Mitchell has got to have a better game. I would play Lerma, Hughes, Franca in Cam, Ayu on the left, Alicia on the right, and Eddie Odson Edward himself up front and that. So yeah, I don't think I would start at Madder and I'd drop Schluppy. And Richards is okay. We're back. My apologies. Yeah, a bit of a connection problem, technical difficulty, and that. Oh, here he is. You can hear me.
Hello. I tell you what, the technical difficulty was my phone died.
Oh, your phone. Yeah, I heard a little glitch.
So long, it's drained my battery. I'm having to hold my phone like this now for the rest of it. Oh, God.
We haven't got long to go. Don't worry. Yeah. So you were saying about the way we should set up against West Ham and at this this Sunday, of course. I sort of gave my little
so
team
I would go. Like I said, goalkeeper, same back four as usual. Hughes and Lerma as the holding midfielders. Then you've got Schlupp on the left, Franca as Cam, and Elise on the right, and up front, Edouard. Then on the bench, to bring off the bench, you obviously got to put Mateta in there with Ayu and your usual players like your Rob Holding, Nathaniel Klein, Rui Matthews, Jairo Riedewald, maybe, or Ahmed has got to be in there as well. I don't know. The thing is, right, it's going to be equal. I reckon it'll be more so interesting if Franca starts. But even if Ahmed starts, it will be interesting to see what he does when he starts, because I think it'll be his second start for Palace. He started against Wolves last season when we lost 2-0, alongside Lokonga and Milivojevic. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in a number 10 against a good West Ham side away from home. But I still would love to see Franca start. I think it'll be long overdue. Yeah. If, and it is a big if, let's say, if Franca plays awfully, then we can shut up and we can say, you know what, it was a massive waste of money.
I hear you on that. Yeah,
and he doesn't deserve to start. Then yeah, fair enough. I get it. if he's not good enough, don't play him. But he can't be much worse than what we're seeing out there.
Yeah, I massively agree. I mean, we just got to give the kid a chance. You know what I mean? He's younger than me, for Christ's sake. I'm 20, and the guy's 19. You know what I mean? He's a lot better than what we got on the pitch. You know, he's a lot better than Schlupp, and I'd say like Mateta. You know, he might even be a little better than Ayew going forward. I don't think he's the quickest, but you just need to give him a start and a run out to get his confidence going. We don't start him against West Ham. When are we ever going to start him against Bournemouth? Do you know what I mean?
Mate, honestly, it just does my head in. It honestly, I don't know where we're going as a club, mate.
Connection's a little bit laggy, but just before we hit, just got a few to answer, like a couple sort of comments, questions. Tyler Kate, I already sort of read this out, but just for you here, he says, do you reckon this period is worse than before Vieira sack, obviously back in March? What do you make of that? Do you agree with him?
I mean, the thing is, you can compare the two, and I would say that they're equally as bad, because when Vieira got sacked, you could argue that for those 3 months, we had some really tough games. We had Man City, Liverpool, Man United. We had Arsenal after he got sacked. Chelsea, even though we finished above them last season, you know, Chelsea.
Yeah, we did.
It was still tough to go to, I suppose. We had games against Brighton and Brentford who were trying to progress that season. What I didn't like about the Vieira period, though, was the stubbornness in who he was starting. I don't understand why he weren't starting Eze a lot, especially the talent that he's brought out now. And even when he come off the bench in those games in the 3-month period, he still come on and did what we expected him to do. I understand that. But you look at this period and it's like we're losing games that we should be winning for a Premier League team of 11 years, going out to Burnley. And I know it was 2-0. To be fair, that goal from Mitchell, I'm glad to see him score it, but it should have been a 1-0. I think 2-0 makes it look like we were the more dominant side, even though we really weren't.
Well, we only had the 2 attempts and that was it. Honestly,
we only had the 2 attempts and Burnley had a lot more. So, you know what? We did get the 2-0 win, but going out to Burnley and barely getting a win, going to Luton and looking a worse side. When we got promoted in 2013, Luton were in the conference.
I know.
I mean, do me a favour.
No, it's mental, isn't it?
Right? Go losing at home to Everton, a team who for the last 3 years have been finishing 17th and 16th and 17th every season. Right, I know they were top of the league at the time, but even the game against Tottenham, like the scoreline wasn't as bad as me and you thought it was going to be. But even when we went 2-0 down, you could tell as soon as that second goal went in, the player was just strutting along, waiting for the final whistle. You've got Van der Ven and Vicario doing 1-2s, and Edouard's just standing there. Everyone's booing him. Do you know what I mean? You got the Newcastle.
The fans did turn that Tottenham game. I'm not going to lie. They did turn a little bit. You could feel the frustration and you could vent the anger amongst our own supporters in that Spurs game because we weren't trying. We were just sitting off them too much. We were just like sitting ducks, a bit lost. You know what I mean? We're like a deer in headlights, most of us.
Yeah, and what frustrated me with the Everton one was that we didn't attack badly. I think it was one of the best attacking performances of the season. Like we tried to break Everton down, and on a couple of occasions we did, and we got the penalty, and maybe the second one should have been a penalty, whatever. But defensively, we were all over the place. We were a shambles, an absolute shambles. Like even against Tottenham, the 2 goals for Tottenham were an unlucky own goal and a very good counter-attacking goal, right?
Yeah,
so in that respect, the Newcastle game though, the second and third goals, you've got Jude not watching his man and Gay making a sloppy mistake. Then against Everton, you've got Mikalenko winning a header against Joachim Andersen and Joel Ward. You've got When Mikalenko hits the post, no one reacts. Decore's got an open net.
We just switched off. We were just half asleep. Like we've always been conceding
The goal
goals
from
this
Idrissa
season.
Gana Gueye, we're just kicking it at the Everton players, not trying to formulate an attack. No one making the runs until Elise came on. This is why I'm saying we are now currently we are now we are a two-man band.
Oh yeah. Speaking of us,
a team full of ballers and no bottle.
Yeah,
that is
exactly. 100%. Best comment
100%.
today.
You've got right. This is where people this is where there is a difference. There's people saying Palace have got the capabilities of getting where they want to be, and you know we stand by that, and that's why we're here, because we're not happy with it. But
yeah, definitely.
I'd say that the players stand out more for individual talent rather than being part of a team. And that is another reason why.
That's the point of that comment. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the players stand out more for individual talent rather than being part of a squad.
Yeah. Joel CPFC says the way Roy Hodgson spoke about the youngsters is wrong. And I'm not saying Roy out, but it can't help. I think he means it doesn't help. Definitely. He also says here, Joel CPFC, this isn't close to the Vieira period. No chance. That he's entitled to his opinion. So I can understand in some aspects why he'd be saying that. He also says Vieira shouldn't have been sacked, but this isn't the same. Yeah.
I think the reason why Vieira got sacked is because Steve Parish ultimately panicked. I think
no, he did.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been sacked. I'm not being. When we lost to Brighton, and we were all very emotional because it was the game that we look for almost every season, and the fact that we just didn't turn up, and it was only 1-0. I get that. The fact that we didn't turn up, we didn't try. Brighton knew that as soon as they got that first goal, they didn't really have to try for the second. They knew the game was done, right? So, and then we had the Arsenal game where by the time he got sacked, that was just a write-off, really. Paddy McCarthy's first time in the dugout, we knew it weren't going to be. And they were challenging for the title. Yeah, we knew it weren't going to be any good. But then I think Steve Parish ultimately panicked because of the games that we had after that, which was the three teams that ultimately went down, Leicester, Leeds and Southampton. Because part of me asked myself, if we still had Vieira, would we have got the same results?
Nah, I reckon I'm not gonna lie, I reckon we would have gone down, and people are going to be surprised. But I look at the competition in that season, last season, and there were a lot of good teams that went down. Leicester shouldn't have gone down. Leeds were pretty crap. Southampton, I mean, they're a big club, but I mean, a big club.
To be fair though, Leicester did go from Brendan Rodgers to Dean Smith. I mean,
I know. But look at not trying to change the subject too quick, but look at the players they had: Maddison, Pereira, Vardy, Dennis Pratt.
Ian Acho.
And Didi. They should never have gone down. Do you know what I mean? And I think they had a better squad than we did. And the way we were playing, we went 3 months without a win. Vieira was being stubborn. He wasn't changing anything. The football was poor. If we would have stayed on for them games, we would have gone down, because I don't think we would have won four wins out of 10.
I think when Hodgson, we won 5 out of 10.
5, sorry. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. We beat Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, West Ham, and Bournemouth. Funnily enough, West Ham and Bournemouth.
Yeah. Oh, how ironic.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know. I knew that to hire Roy for our whole season was going to be a huge mistake, and I'm not surprised that we're here in late November already talking about sacking him, because let's be real, right? Roy's second spell, if he was to go now, let's say that he got sacked after the Bournemouth game, he would have lasted a less time than Sam Allardyce the second time around. Sam Allardyce was our manager for
5 months, I think.
5 months. And it would have turned to 5 months, but it was nearly 6 months. Roy's second spell would have lasted less time than Sam Allardyce. So, but I don't know.
Yeah,
and the thing is, the message to the board is very, very clear, which is that, like Stan's he said it really nicely, actually. He said after the FA Cup final, he said Steve Parish has done as much as he can.
No, yes, that's what was going through my head for a bit before this as well. He's
and I'm
exactly
not being
right,
funny,
100%.
right? If he's a proper Palace fan, like he says he is, and local boy and all this and that,
oh yeah, I've seen him on back of the nest.
Doesn't he want what's best for the club then?
So do we in that as well. It's not like we're not trying to be like negative all the time. We're speaking the truth about how we feel about the club, you know. And right now, it's not good enough, and we're just going to say how it is. Do you know what I mean?
People think I am so negative. I'm not, and I don't want to be proved right. I really don't. I would love nothing more than for people to watch this 1 hour, 45-minute thing and laugh at it all the way
100%.
through and say, you know what, Majorly Tristan, you're so stupid. You were wrong. You were wrong. Look at what you said about this. You're wrong. I'd love nothing more than to be proved wrong, but I'm being proved right at the minute. I will give credit where credit is due. Look at when Eze and Elise both got signed on new deals. I said credit where credit is due because I didn't think that for a non-progressive club, Eze and Elise would put up with it. I'm surprised that we didn't sell Gaye as well.
I thought they were all going to go. You know what I mean? With Will.
So I'm like, you know, credit where credit is due. When we win games, when we beat Wolves, I was like, well, you know what? It wasn't the best performance, but we went out. We went out second half and shown a brilliant attacking display and deserved the points.
Big time.
I give credit where credit is due. I don't go, oh, we beat Wolves 3-2, but defensively we were a shambles still. No. I give credit where it's due, but all I see at the minute is just negativity from not just myself because it's warranted, but negativity from the owners, negativity from the manager, negativity from some of the players.
Yeah.
And all I see all around us is positivity from other teams. And that is what makes me frustrated.
Like, because, you know, when we played Everton, Burnley, I backed us. I was so confident we were going to get something because I knew we had the ability to turn teams over. Burnley, we were poor. Everton, we got let down badly. And then, you know, we had a 2-week break, which I think we needed it pretty much to recover after that Everton defeat. We had Luton. And I was like, yeah, I'm backing the team. You know, if a Palace fan's not confident in us beating Luton, you might as well not be confident in us beating any team. And that's before the Luton game. Obviously, right now, a lot of Palace fans like me and you, we're not even confident of beating flipping Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? Because we can't beat Luton. Do you get what I'm saying? But
you know what? I think that
because I backed the team because I showed passion and I was caring. Do you know what I mean? So like, you know, I wanted us to do
Luton,
well, and they let us down, man. Yeah,
that game has to be.
Yeah.
I remember when Sam Allardyce come out when we lost 4-0 to Sunderland, and he said that game is a massive reality check.
No, it was.
The same attitude has to come out after that game, because even though we didn't get battered, look at the quality of the team.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, and the thing is, all this nonsense about they drew against Liverpool.
All the excuses, basically, yeah.
They were expected to beat you lot. So that's like saying Man U beat Bayern 5-0 in the group stage of the Champions League. Oh, they're going to win it now.
Exactly, that's the equivalent.
Like, do you know what I mean? I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand where. I just don't. The thing is, right. If the player, I can't even speak. I'm frustrated so much. If the manager and the owner doesn't know what the aim of this season is or the club is, then how do we know?
No one does at this rate.
How do the players know? I mean,
not even fans like my dad, for God's sake. He's been supporting the club for almost 50 years. He doesn't know. Do you know what I mean? He's been watching this nonsense for the last 50 years or so, man. The same thing season in season out with Palace. Do you know what I mean?
Like, we've lost against 2 of the bottom 4. I think Luton are 17th. We've lost against 2 of the bottom 4.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
I mean, you look at the other teams in the bottom 4. Like
exactly.
Stan said, if we played Burnley or Sheffield United tomorrow, do we win that?
No. I got no confidence in us beating anyone right now after losing to flipping Luton. You know,
I said on my channel.
I said it all.
I said on my channel, it's a new low. It is an absolute new low. It's a disgrace. And you know what? I'd have made the players walk home from Luton.
Oh,
it ain't far, and you get paid enough money.
Yeah, exactly.
It ain't far. You get paid enough money a week. Go. It was freezing cold
yeah.
that day. Walk home.
Bendo Sports says if we ain't careful, we're going down. Yes, definitely. I'm already giving myself a reality check about that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
I've never ever seen Palace go down. But
I've only known us to be in the Prem. I've never known us to be in the Championship or no other league like that.
What breaks my heart is that, especially at home games, I've seen fans around me say, you know what? At least it would be a bit more enjoyable if we went down. But the thing is, right, as negative as it is,
it's a bit. I don't know.
As negative and as stupid as it sounds, I do get what they mean.
Yeah, I do as well.
Like, we're watching the same. They're like, we're watching the same thing. We pay 500-600 quid for a season ticket every year. Spend God knows how much on overpriced booze and whatnot in the bar to watch a team that are worth about a tenner in terms of quality.
Yeah. I'm really just...
I'm so flat. You know what? I didn't think... When I was still in my room doing these live streams with you,
yeah,
I didn't think I'd be in uni still doing the same thing. I thought by now we'd have fixed it. We'd have at least tried to move on. The pain of relegation will scar you for life.
Oh, he's not wrong. We've never experienced it, so...
Because the thing is, what gets me is with relegation is that even if we do win games in the Championship next season, you know that there's 20 teams in a higher league than you. So you can't even like pretend that you're the best team in the country for a second when you win a game. Say if we beat, like, I don't know, Sheffield Wednesday or Rotherham United, we all go like, oh, you know what, we're a really good team. And then you think, oh, there's 20 teams above us in the pyramid. Like, we're not, nowhere near. That's that's how I think it'll make me feel.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel
the bottom line, right, with Roy Hodgson is that I knew that when he left in 2021, he has not got the tactics of a modern day Premier League manager. He doesn't pick the right players, even though it is a threadbare squad. He's not using the signings to their full potential. I'd give him these 2 games and then say, you know what, go, get out the door.
Yeah, if we lose his next 2, he's got to go.
Yeah,
no excuses. He's got to go.
Message to the owners: they have not spent adequately in enough windows to satisfy any manager. Because you know what, and this is where I forgot about my point altogether, and I've got it back now. Is that if we were to sack Roy, within 9 months to 12 months, you're saying the same thing about another manager, because the board doesn't back them totally. You could probably get in Antonio Conte, and we'd still be saying the same things about him.
Exactly, no, definitely, because
the board don't invest. That's the thing. A lot of modern day managers now want the security that the board are going to spend.
Big time. The reason why we can't attract good managers is because they're not going to get 150 mil every window. This is the reason why. Like, you know, when Stan said about we don't attract managers from that are already at other clubs, we automatically look at who's not in a job, because Parish knows that they would not get a job either way. Like they would not accept his terms. Exactly.
That's the reason.
Thing. That's the sad thing.
I can now read. And also, right, when this main stand does finally get built and this new Nando's or whatever it is gets built and all that.
I don't believe in that Nando's. I just think it's a bit.
Anyway, I said it more as like a joke sort of thing. But anyway, right. Whenever this main stand does get built, I reckon Steve Parish will do it near a window, whether it's the January or the summer transfer window.
Yeah,
and then he'll make the excuse that we didn't spend because we had to pay it off.
Always excuses. That's the
I
thing.
Can read him. I can
too many
read
excuses.
Him like a book, because he's done it for so long. He's done it.
Like, us fans aren't stupid. We know when he's sort of telling the truth and when he's lying and like bluffing and just.
We don't really, because
sometimes
you look at the end of last season, and we still believe him. But that was because he was standing in front of 20,000 people with a microphone and actually said it where everybody heard him.
Yeah, but when he said that, part of me did believe, but at the same time, part of me was like, "This is Palace." I look at our records, you know, in our history, and you know how we were financially back then, and that when he said that comment, and I was like, I just can't see us bloody splashing the cash, you know, like we did in the 21-22 summer window when we signed Elise and Anderson and Gay and them. Look, do you know what I mean?
Because I'm not.
I just could kind of see what was going to happen because there was a lot of criticism on it, you know, because they were moaning saying we didn't sign a striker. You know, we weren't signing quality players. I think all we signed was Lerman, and then we signed Frank, and then towards the end we signed Holden and Henderson. It's kind of panic buys and that. Do you know what I mean? You could see what was going to happen, like partially.
The ultimate word, right? Progression, right? So what he's basically saying is last season was not a progressive season. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he stayed true to his word, then this season should be better than last season. Well, let's compare it. Look at signings, for example. 22-23, he brings in Sam Johnston, Malcolm Ebiowei, Jake Decore, and Chris Richards. I think they were the only ones. I think they were the only players that got brought in. This season, he brings in Dean Henderson, played for 19 minutes and got injured. Jefferson Lerma, Mateus Franca.
We ain't even seen him yet. Properly,
we ain't even seen him yet. Well, we've barely seen him. I went early against Tottenham. I ain't seen him play. Then, who else did we sign this season?
Rob
Holding.
He hasn't. He wants out, apparently. Apparently, he wants out.
In terms of progression, in terms of signings, we've done similar, if not worse, this season. Right? Then you look at our performance. You look at our performances. We've performed worse in more games than we perform well. So that's not progressive. We've beaten Manchester United, but we've beat them in other seasons that apparently weren't progressive. The new stand's not been built yet. We've got Roy Hodgson back in charge. How is any of it progressive?
It's not the next level. It's not progression. Definitely.
But not even one aspect has been progressive. So it's all 100% lies.
Well, it is, and they've been doing it for a long time.
The academy's not been progressed.
Fans haven't seen it until now.
Every academy player we produce gets put out on loan to League One, and we never see him again.
Yeah, look at Plange, Kamari Gordon.
Plange. I watched Killian Phillips for Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah, him. He's
I thought he was. I know he's playing League One opposition, but I thought he's playing really well. He's really good.
Yeah.
Raksaki's injured. He's the only one. The only there's been two players that the academy has produced since Zaha that I would say have made it. Mitchell and Wan-Bissaka.
Definitely.
That's it. And we
I'd say I put Raksaki in it as well. I put Raksaki in it because he's played a bit this season.
He's played a little bit this season. Okay, all right, fair enough. But
yeah,
ultimately, we apparently have one of the best academy systems in the country.
I don't think so because half of
them
we don't because the flipping first team.
Like, I'm sure these youngsters look up at the first team, look at Roy and go, no chance.
Can I say something just before we end this year? When he makes comments about the youngsters after the Spurs game, if you're a player in the academy looking at that, you're going to be like, why am I here? Are we not good enough to get into the first team? You know what I mean?
But
that's what they're all going to be looking at.
Palace has been putting out constant highlights.
The whole thing about it.
Palace has been putting out constant highlights of this striker. I keep forgetting his name, but he's scored about 5 hat-tricks this season already.
5 hat-tricks. I don't know.
People in the comments on the live chat, if you're still here.
I don't know, you know. I'm honestly not sure. I'm not even going to lie.
Palace have released a video of an academy player. I'm not sure how old he is. He's not like he's not like in the under 13s or the under 14s. Like, he is old enough to play.
I don't know.
We've just replaced, not upgraded. Yeah, it's true. But I'm thinking,
is he the Palace Academy?
The
Palace Academy. I know you're on. I've forgotten the name. I know you're on about. I mean, yeah, he's a lot better than what we've got up front. I'd say. I know who you're on about.
Exactly. And I'm like,
yeah. This is him. What's his name? Zachary Marsh.
Zachary Marsh. That's it, Marsh.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. I thought I've heard about him before.
I'm like, How can Palace have the nerve on social media after we've had one of the most embarrassing defeats in our Premier League history to then bring out a young striker that's scoring plenty of goals in his academy fixtures and not even giving him a sniff in? Say if we get Crawley Town in the third, I don't even know if you're in the FA Cup. Say if we get Wimbledon in the next round of the FA Cup. Is he even making an appearance on the bench? No. What Roy will do if he's still in the job, he'll put Mateta up front and Edwards on the bench. He'll just swap them both. He won't do anything.
Yeah.
Like you said.
He's not going to change his
Marsh fella looks at the quotes from Roy. These academy players are meant to be looking up at Roy and being like, right, if I do what he says, then I should get a chance in this squad. If he's saying, oh, these young players doing nothing for me or the club, they're probably thinking, well, this is a club that's not progressing. I'm not going to get a chance to prove myself to the bigger teams in this league. What am I doing here?
I'll tell you,
I'm sure if they went to somewhere like a Bournemouth or a Luton or I don't know, an Everton or something like that, they would get a chance. And if they don't prove themselves after that, then but fine, back into the academy you go. But we don't see enough chances given to players. You look at Ozo, he comes on the pitch for 10 minutes in the Carabao Cup against Man United when we ain't seen him again.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time he even played since then. That was 3 months ago.
3-0 down. It's like we see what we want to see when it's too little too late. Frank comes on at 4-0 down and 2-0 down. If we went 3-0 down against West Ham on Sunday, Roy would then put Franca on.
Some guy says no wonder Jake O'Brien legged out.
No wonder why Jake O'Brien went.
100%.
Yeah.
Can I say something, Mace? When he said that comment about the young players after the Spurs game, he lost a lot of fans. There were a lot of fans who respected him, but just lost faith in him afterwards. And I was
there were a lot of fans that were calling for Roy to be sacked from that moment. Before our defeat to Everton and Luton and barely beating Burnley, when he said that, it was brought out on Saturday morning. And I remember nearly every Palace fan who commented on that post were calling out for him to be sacked. But again, everyone said to me, "Oh, who would you bring?" It's the same. You know, when everyone says, "Oh, who would you bring in as a manager?" Or everyone's saying to me, "Well," everyone's saying to me, "Well, you keep saying you need a striker. Who would you sign in January?"
I don't know, Mace. I really don't know who we're going to sign. I don't know what. There's no strikers out.
Because the thing is, right, what fans don't understand is it's not a question of a question of who we bring in. It's a question of will the board be bothered to bring someone in?
Honestly, mate, at this rate, no one knows, bro. It's one of them ones where we need to spend money, but it wouldn't surprise me if we don't. You know, we need a new CDM, we need a striker and another winger, maybe even another midfielder, and we need a fullback too. We're not going to sign all 5 of them in the January window. Absolutely no chance. Based on our recent records in this window, it's never going to happen.
First port of call, if it gets like a 10th of January, let's say, and then Palace go, "Oh, we're interested in a goalkeeper," I'll be like, you know what, get out, because every single window we have this obsession of signing a goalkeeper. I'm like, what?
Every window, mostly.
Like, you know what I mean? You look at ones in the past. Remy Matthews.
God. The Brazilian one, he never played.
Yeah. Alex McCarthy. Steve Mandanda. Never kept a clean sheet.
Mandanda, I forgot about him. He only played 5 times. He disappeared for the rest of the flipping season.
Never kept a clean sheet for the club.
And I'm like, he was shit.
We have an obsession of signing. If we sign goalkeepers like we sign outfield players, we'd be winning the flipping league.
We'd be up there for Europe. No, top 10 every season, for the love of God, honestly. But listen, bro. Listen. We're gonna have to call. I'm gonna have to end it there because my laptop's gonna be out of battery in the next
2 hours. Well, my phone died.
Yeah, I know. It's been unbelievable, man. Thanks for coming on, Mace. Shout out Jordan. Shout out all the other people that have been on that as well and commenting and having a look at that too. And Stan, obviously, thanks for him coming on and that. we'll try and do one of these at some point. Hopefully, it's more positive because we do need a win. I can't see us getting one though. But yeah, that's the end of this live fan calling show and that. So hope you enjoy it. Make sure to comment in the comment section down below after this live and that when it's done, your thoughts, your predictions for this weekend's matches and the next few weeks and that as well. Is Roy going to get the sack? Are you Parashal? Let us know in the comment section down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, with a notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Socials, link in the description down below. And I will see you a lot for the West Ham vlog on Sunday. And there's no preview. I'm pretty busy this weekend, obviously, including the games. So I'll be there. Mace, you're going to be there in that as well. I'm expecting to see a few Palace fans there too. It's gonna be a crazy one. It could get really toxic, or the players could respond and try and push for a win. But it's a massive London derby. It's a London derby that us Palace fans really want to win. Out of all London derbies, this is one that I really want to win. To be fair, against West Ham, we've done a double over them before last season, and that got a very good record there. So it's going to be a very, very eventful game, and it's going to be pretty close potentially. But if we don't turn up and if they do, we're going to get murdered. So we always got to bear that in mind. But we'll see you there, Mace. Thanks for coming on again. I will see you lot for the vlog on Sunday. Take care, my people. In a bit.
Bye.
See you. Bye.